With a stroke of recklessness, the US has decided to provoke the mighty Russian bear. But what if the medved awakens from its slumber? Well, the US doesn't care about it because just like Ukraine, it is now using another sovereign country as a bait to instigate Moscow. This time, it's Finland. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Atul Mishra. Let's begin. Scandinavian countries have long been known for their neutrality and independence in international matters. Despite numerous provocations from the West to send troops and join in anti-Russia rhetoric, these countries have never participated in any anti-Russian activities and have instead maintained a somewhat pro-Russia position. The Nordic countries have a long history of cultural and economic interchange with Russia, which has resulted in a strong tie between them. And this irritates the US to the core. The US has long tried to push these nations into a tussle with Russia, but all in vain. And now the self-proclaimed Messiah is waking up. America is now preparing to deploy its troops to bases near Russia's border with Finland. If ongoing talks between Helsinki and Washington on a new defense cooperation agreement are successful, American troops may soon be deployed. According to the Finnish newspaper Helsinki Sanomat, which cited Finnish Foreign Ministry official Mikael Antel, discussions on the new cooperation agreement might allow for the building of large military infrastructure on Finnish soil. The proposed accord excludes nuclear weapons. Helsinki Sanomat reports that Antel, the Foreign Ministry's Deputy Director General for Political Affairs, is leading the bilateral talks, and new talks took place in the Finnish capital last week. According to Antel, the pact will supplement Finland's recent NATO membership. The most important thing is that the agreement enables smooth cooperation with the United States in all security situations and also at short notice, Antel said. What's noticeable here is that the US is currently also pursuing DCAs with Sweden and Denmark. Sending and deploying troops to foreign soil has become deeply ingrained in the nature of the US state affairs. While there sometimes are valid reasons for troop deployment in certain situations, the frequency with which the West engages in such actions is alarming. Critics argue that the country's aggressive military posture has only served to destabilize specific regions of the world and has contributed to conflict escalation. One good example is Ukraine. Now, as the war in Ukraine is drawing to a close, the US has already started preparing another war zone on Russian borders, this time the scapegoat being Finland. The deployment of US troops near the border might potentially be interpreted as a provocative move by Russia. Russia has often accused the US of wanting to encircle it with NATO soldiers, and the deployment of troops close to the Finnish border may be interpreted as an increase in tensions between the two countries. Not to mention, a few months ago, NATO even tried to push Norway into a conflict with Russia. Preparations were being made for the international exercise Joint Viking in Norway. Around 750 soldiers from the US Marine Corps, the UK and Netherlands were already in place by the time. The winter exercise scheduled for March will gather 10,000 Norwegian and NATO troops. The main activity was set to occur in Troms province, which is located in the northern part of the nation between March 4th to 16th, 2023. Clearly, the US somehow compelled Oslo to fall into the well-woven trap of infinite diplomatic blunders to the West, and now it is trying the same with Finland in the name of enhancing transatlantic security. The US will only end up creating problems for Finland. It's clear as day the West pushed Kiev into a war which has stolen countless lives and caused a widespread economic catastrophe. Had Ukraine not paid heed to the persistent lies of NATO and not promoted its nefarious agenda, the conflict with Moscow would have been resolved peacefully. Now, the potential of such a tragedy is looming ominously over Finland.